Welcome back to the deep dive. Imagine this. You're scrolling through your feed, you're really into some great positive content, and then bam, an ad for a brand you actually respect pops up right next to something that feels, well, totally off-brand, jarring even.
Yeah, or maybe you're on the other side of that.
Exactly. Maybe you're the brand manager, the marketer, and you're trying so hard to get your message out there. It feels like you're constantly walking this tightrope, right? Balancing the need for massive reach with protecting your brand's reputation, which is hard-earned.
Especially in this digital world, it's incredibly fast-paced. Things change constantly.
Totally. It's this daily challenge making sure your brand's voice is heard, sure, but also heard in the right place, the right context. So today, we are going to try and cut through some of that noise, that complexity. We want to unlock some really crucial insights from a brand new document, TikTok's Brand Safety and Suitability Playbook.
And this isn't just, another industry report. It's a freshly published guide, pretty comprehensive, specifically designed to empower advertisers.
Think of it like a roadmap, really, helping you navigate TikTok's whole landscape with hopefully more confidence, allowing your brand to grow, not just bigger, but with real trust behind it. So let's really unpack this playbook, because it's not just about what you don't want your brand next to, though that's part of it. It's maybe even more about what you do want it to align with, how to shape that perfect environment for your message.
Yeah, it's proactive.
Exactly.
Yeah.
This deep dive is kind of your shortcut to understanding how to protect, yes, but also how to really optimize your brand's image on, let's face it, one of the world's biggest and fastest moving platforms. We'll look at their core thinking, the actual controls, and some real world examples too.
And what's really fascinating here, right from the get-go in the playbook, is how TikTok frames trust. They position it as the absolute foundation for modern marketing. They're basically saying consumers today really expect brands to actively align with their values. You can't just passively exist online anymore.
That feels like a big shift.
It is. It moves the whole conversation beyond just safety, which feels kind of reactive to this much more nuanced strategic idea of suitability. And that raises a huge question for any brand. How do you actually get that control, that confidence in such a massive, dynamic, sometimes unpredictable space?
And this playbook seems to be their answer.
It looks like their definitive answer, yeah.
Yeah.
Laying out their suite of solutions.
You hit on a really key point there, that foundational philosophy, that commitment to safety first. It's not just a tagline for them, is it? The playbook really details it as the bedrock.
Yeah, it underpins everything else.
Their whole approach seems very proactive. They talk about policy enforcement, giving advertisers actual controls, building industry partnerships, being transparent. It's quite a list. The idea seems to be that a secure platform isn't just good for users. It's essential for creativity, connection, and ultimately that brand trust we're talking about for everyone. It's like holistic.
Precisely. The document really hammers home that proactive stance, keeping the community safe, maintaining platform integrity, that's job one for them, and they achieve it by really enforcing their community guidelines and other policies.
How do they actually do that at scale, though?
Well, a key part is this dual detection system they describe. It's pretty sophisticated. It combines advanced automated tech, which can scan just incredible amounts of content super fast with human evaluation teams.
Ah, so it's not just bots.
No, and that's crucial. The automated systems are great for flagging patterns, scaling things up, but the human element adds that vital layer of nuance, context, understanding cultural specifics, slang, satire, complex emotional tones, things machines might miss.
Right. Like sarcasm doesn't always translate well to an algorithm.
Exactly. So this combination means violations aren't just detected quickly, but they're acted on appropriately with the right level of understanding. And that integrated approach is really key to maintaining the platform's integrity, which then allows them to offer these trusted environments to advertisers.
That's powerful. It's not just cleaning up messes after they happen. They're actively building this protective layer, like a digital guardian angel almost, constantly watching and learning.
That's a good way to put it.
So for advertisers, what does this foundation really mean? It means you can feel more confident even before you worry about the specifics of where your ad lands, right? You're starting from a baseline of trust.
Exactly. And that strong foundation then lets them build out this much more nuanced concept, brand suitability. This is where the playbook really shifts the focus, moving way beyond just basic brand safety.
Okay, so let's define those terms. Brand safety versus brand suitability. How does TikTok see them?
So brand safety, as they define it, is about avoiding content that's just clearly harmful or inappropriate. Things like hate speech, violence, illegal activities, adult sexual exploitation, the absolute no-goes, non-negotiable for pretty much any brand.
The baseline, the stuff everyone agrees is bad.
Right. but suitability.
Mm.
That's where it gets interesting. That's where it moves beyond just avoiding risk and becomes a strategic tool.
This is where brands can really define their own space, isn't it? Go beyond just avoiding the obvious bad stuff.
You've nailed it. Suitability is a step further. It's about actively aligning your brand with content that specifically reflects your brand's unique identity, its core values, and this is key content that will genuinely resonate with your specific audience in a positive way.
Can you give an example of that difference?
Sure. Think about, say, a heavy metal band promoting a concert. Content with mosh pits or edgy humor might be perfectly safe, according to guidelines, but it would be totally unsuitable for, say, a luxury children's clothing brand, even if the metal content isn't harmful.
Got it. It's about the context and the specific brand's vibe.
Exactly. It's about precision, cultural relevance, getting the context right. And the playbook really stresses TikTok's ongoing innovation here, providing advertisers with more sophisticated tools to make these informed choices about where their ads appear. It's dynamic, and they're investing in tools to match that.
And they've bundled all this, from the basic safety to these advanced suitability controls, under one name, the TikTok Safety Suite. Sounds pretty comprehensive.
It does. It seems to cover platform integrity, community well-being, advertiser safety, across every place they make money on the platform. So yeah, not just isolated tools, but a whole interconnected system.
That feels important.
And if you connect this to the wider world of digital marketing, the shift from just safety to suitability is huge. It acknowledges that what's safe for brand A might be totally unsuitable for brand B. It's all about that cultural alignment, that precision in placement, which you really need now to build those deep audience connections in such a fragmented digital world.
So brands aren't just trying to avoid the bad, they're actively seeking the good, the right fit.
That's it. That proactive approach to suitability is where the real value lies for advertisers who want genuine engagement and long-term brand building.
Okay, that sets the stage really well for how advertisers can actually do this, how they get that precision. Which brings us to what the playbook calls the pre-campaign controls. This is all about setting things up before you even launch, right? Defining your environment up front.
Absolutely. TikTok really emphasizes the efficiency and strategic edge you get from doing this proactively. It's about making choices up front, not scrambling later.
And the first big tool here is the TikTok inventory filter, launched back in mid-2022, you said.
That's right, July 2022. It's presented as a cornerstone control for managing content adjacency. Gives you immediate, scalable control right where you build your ads.
Okay, and it's built right into the ads manager, offering 3 different tiers. Can you break those down for us?
Sure. They offer a clear spectrum. First, expanded inventory. This is the widest net. Your ads appear next to content generally okay for most brands, but, and this is important, the playbook notes it may contain some mature themes.
So maximum reach, maybe for brands that are okay with a slightly edgier environment?
Potentially, yes. Think of it like a bustling city, diverse, lots going on. Good if your brand can handle that broader context. Second, standard inventory. This steps up the caution a bit. Ads here won't appear next to stuff that violates their main community guidelines, but like expanded, it might still show up next to content with mature themes, things that are generally acceptable but maybe sensitive for some.
So a balance between reach and more caution, like a well-managed suburb.
That's a good analogy.
Yeah.
And third, limited inventory. This is the strictest tier. Ads here appear next to content that doesn't contain mature themes at all. It's designed for brands with really stringent suitability needs, the highest level of caution.
Like a quiet, very family-friendly neighborhood.
Exactly. Maximum suitability control.
And this isn't just a simple toggle switch, is it? The tech behind it sounds pretty advanced. Machine learning, analyzing everything, text, audio, video, images.
At incredible scale, yeah. This AI then aligns the content with these tiers based on sensitivity or risk levels. It's nuanced, like distinguishing between a dramatic depiction of a weapon in a movie scene versus actual real-world violence, or alcohol in a cooking show versus promoting excessive drinking.
It really is like picking the perfect neighborhood online. Not just the city, but the specific block.
And the playbook gives a really helpful example with an energy drink brand to show how this works in practice. Imagine you're marketing this high-energy drink all about extreme sports, pushing limits.
Okay, so if they're doing a campaign specifically for their extreme sports sponsorships, think thrilling parkour, motocross, intense training videos.
They'd likely choose expanded inventory. Their ads fit right alongside that high adrenaline content. It matches the brand's vibe, and the audience expects it.
Makes sense. But what about a general awareness campaign? Maybe trying to reach a broader audience.
For that, they might opt for standard inventory. It avoids the absolute riskiest stuff, but still lets them appear next to dynamic content like fitness challenges, popular dance trends, maybe behind-the-scenes sports footage. Broader reach, still energetic, but a bit more mainstream.
Okay. And if they launch, say, a zero sugar version, targeting a younger or more health-focused crowd?
Then they'd strategically choose limited inventory, maximum suitability, ads next to nutrition tips, hydration hacks, healthy lifestyle vlogs, reinforces the product benefits, aligns with that wellness focus, avoids the extreme edge.
That shows amazing flexibility for just one brand, really highlights the precision.
Definitely. Now, beyond that broad inventory filter, there's another layer: TikTok category exclusion. This lets advertisers block ads from appearing next to 4 specific categories. Content that isn't necessarily harmful, but might just be a mismatch for certain brands.
So it layers on top of the inventory filter for even more specific control.
Exactly. Greater specificity, as the Playbook said.
What are these 4 categories? They sound quite targeted.
They are. They seem to address common areas where content might be technically safe, but still unsuitable for some. The 4 are: 1. Gambling and lotteries. This is content glamorizing or heavily featuring gambling, important for brands avoiding associations with financial risk. 2. Violent video games. This is specific graphic violence within video games, depictions of killing, dismemberment, etc. in a gaming context, not just gaming in general.
So targeting the really graphic, M-rated type stuff.
Seems like it. 3. Combat sports. Content showing boxing, martial arts, wrestling. Again, popular, but some brands, maybe family-focused ones, want to steer clear of competitive aggression. And 4th, youth content. This is broad content about subjects, events, shows appealing directly to youth, or primarily featuring young children or babies. Crucial for brands targeting older demographics or wanting to avoid any perception of marketing to kids.
That makes sense. It really gets into contextual relevance, doesn't it? It's not just bad content, but content that just doesn't fit the brand's message or target audience.
Precisely. And the Playbook uses a luxury fashion brand example here.
Okay, let's hear it. A luxury brand, maybe launching high-end handbags.
Exactly. Their focus is exclusivity, sophistication, and adult audience. So they would use category exclusion to specifically block youth content. They don't want their expensive accessories showing up next to playful videos for kids or trendy mass market content.
Yeah.
They need that sophisticated, affluent context.
Right, curating the environment.
But here's the cool part, the flexibility. If that same luxury brand launched a streetwear collection, maybe a collab with a young artist.
Then they might actually allow placements near youth content for that specific campaign.
Exactly. It shows how suitability needs to be dynamic. Different campaigns, different products, different audiences within the same brand might need different settings. It's strategic, not one size fits all.
That really drives home the suitability point. Okay, so inventory filter, category exclusion, there's another layer. TikTok, vertical sensitivity.
Yes, one more pre-campaign layer. This lets you fine-tune by industry or theme. You can exclude content from 11 specific verticals, filtering out stuff TikTok considers controversial or negative within those categories.
11 verticals. That sounds incredibly detailed. Can you give us a feel for some of those? What kind of specific content gets filtered?
It is very granular. For example, under pets, it filters content showing unfair treatment to animals. Under beauty, it targets controversial or negative trends, like maybe harmful challenges. Under food, it looks for unhealthy behaviors, graphic depictions, or controversial industry stuff.
So, like, an organic food brand could avoid ads next to videos promoting extreme dieting or maybe questionable food production.
Precisely. Others include fashion retail, filtering problematic content like maybe sweatshop implications, travel, controversial or negative patterns like dangerous stunts, financial services, misleading content, technology, problematic harmful uses, automotive, dangerous driving, gaming, unhealthy or sensitive aspects, professional services, negative scandalous coverage, and entertainment, sensitive coverage.
Wow. That's incredibly specific. The level of control seems immense.
It is. And again, an example helps. Think of an eco-friendly travel brand. They promote peaceful, sustainable, maybe luxury nature trips.
Okay, so they'd use vertical sensitivity under travel.
Yes. They'd activate that filter to screen out content that doesn't fit their vibe. Like, they wouldn't want ads next to high-octane adventure sports, skydiving, bungee jumping, because that clashes with their serene image.
Or maybe budget backpacking content if they're targeting luxury travelers.
Exactly. The filter helps ensure their ads appear alongside content that matches their ethos, maybe videos of gentle hikes, eco-resorts, cultural experiences. It's about ensuring the entire context reinforces their specific brand message.
That's a fantastic rundown of the pre-campaign controls. Really proactive stuff. But, like you said, the digital world keeps moving, even after launch. So what happens during a campaign or after it's done? That brings us to Section 3, in-flight and post-campaign precision.
Right, because brand protection doesn't stop once you hit launch. The first tool here is the TikTok video exclusion list. This lets you get really surgical.
Surgical how?
You can exclude individual videos by their unique ID from having your ads run alongside them. It works pre-bid-Asianly. The system checks the list before serving the ad. Important note, this is for standard and limited inventory tiers only.
So you can pinpoint specific videos you don't like. It's like saying, love the neighborhood, love the houses, just not that specific house with the weird lawn domes.
Haha, yeah, something like that. Very precise control.
How do brands even manage that? Finding individual video IDs sounds like a needle in a haystack.
They have two main ways. They can work with TikTok's third-party brand safety partners, who often provide these lists as a managed service. Or they can do it themselves, self-service style, right in TikTok Ads Manager.
Okay, options are good.
And once you upload that list, it applies automatically to all your eligible campaigns, current and future, at the account level. So it's ongoing protection.
The Playbook has a gaming brand example for this one, right? Launching an action game.
Yeah. Imagine you've got this slick, fast-paced shooter. Your audience likes intense action, but maybe some gaming creators get a bit too edgy, or their humor doesn't quite land with your game-specific tone.
Even if it's technically within the rules.
Exactly. Maybe their commentary is overly graphic in a way that clashes with your game's style, or they get into really aggressive debates. If you find creators whose videos consistently don't fit, you can add those specific video IDs to your exclusion list.
So your ad stays next to content that matches that fast-paced, action-driven vibe you're aiming for. Super precise.
Very precise. And then taking it up a level, there's the TikTok profile feed exclusion list. This lets you avoid entire creator profiles.
How's that different from the video list, and when would you use it?
This one is specifically for profile feed ads. Those ads you see when you visit a creator's profile and scroll through their feed. Instead of blocking individual videos, you block the entire creator profile by its ID. You'd use this if the creator's whole vibe, their entire body of work, is just wrong for your brand.
Ah, okay. If it's not just one or two videos, but their whole channel feels off-brand.
Exactly. And the Playbook notes it works alongside all the other filters. Inventory, category, vertical sensitivity, giving you layered control for those profile feed placements. It's available for standard and limited inventory.
And there's an entertainment brand example. Marketing a movie.
Yes, an action thriller. They want a sophisticated adult audience. Think high-stakes, dramatic tone. While TikTok has tons of entertainment content, some creators might focus on edgy humor, provocative stunts, or maybe themes that are just too adult or unserious for this particular film.
So if the brand finds creators whose entire profiles consistently push those boundaries in a way that clashes with the movie's sophisticated tone,
They can add those specific creator profiles to the profile feed exclusion list. Ensures their movie ads appear only in contexts that complement the film's vibe, protecting the brand image.
makes sense. Now, beyond where the ad appears, there's the interaction around it. What about comments?
Crucial point. TikTok offers comment management tools. This gives advertisers pretty comprehensive control over the comments on their ads, trying to keep the conversation brand suitable and positive.
So you can actually see, reply, like hide, filter, block comments, even export them, right? In Ads Manager.
Yep, all of that. It allows for active shaping of the conversation. And a key feature here is the blocked word list.
Ah, so you can automatically hide comments with certain words.
Exactly. You create a custom list of words or phrases, maybe offensive terms, off-topic spam, competitor names, whatever, and comments containing them get hidden automatically. Super efficient for managing comments at scale.
The example used is a university promoting a program, right?
Perfect example. They want the comments on their ads to be informative, welcoming, relevant to potential students. So they'd use comment management to monitor, reply quickly to genuine questions.
And use a blocked word list to filter out irrelevant or misleading comments automatically.
Right. It helps maintain that positive, professional brand presence, which is obviously vital for a university.
It really feels like comment management isn't just about preventing negativity, but actively guiding the conversation, reinforcing the brand.
Absolutely. It turns a potential risk into an opportunity for engagement and reputation building.
Okay, so that covers in-flight. What about after the campaign? Measuring what actually happened. TikTok mentions third-party measurement partners.
Yes, this is key for verification. These are trusted, independent companies that measure whether the content next to your ads was actually brand safe and suitable, according to industry standards like the JOR framework.
So it's not just TikTok marking their own homework.
Exactly. It provides that objective layer of accountability and confidence for advertisers. They provide standard brand safety and suitability rates.
But the playbook mentioned more than just standard rates, things like misinformation rates, and even carbon emissions. That sounds different.
It really is quite forward-thinking. For misinformation rates, yes, advertisers can get post-campaign reports from partners like DoubleVerify, IAS, and Zephyr, showing how much harmful misinformation appeared near their ads.
How effective is TikTok at preventing that?
Well, the Playbook cites a Zephyr test from mid-2024 that found an average adjacent misinformation rate of less than 0.1%, which is incredibly low for a platform of this scale. Really impressive.
Wow, less than 0.1%. That is surprising. That's a strong stat.
It really is. And then, the emission rates piece is genuinely pioneering for social advertising. Through a partnership with Scope3, advertisers can measure the carbon footprint of their TikTok campaigns.
Seriously, you can track the environmental impact of your ad spend.
Yeah. It helps brands with their own sustainability goals and ties into TikTok's commitment to operational carbon neutrality. Brands can now track, report, maybe even optimize campaigns for lower emissions using trusted third-party data.
That feels like a big step towards more responsible advertising overall, moving beyond just content to environmental impact.
Definitely. It signals a broader commitment to building a trustworthy and sustainable ecosystem, not just running ads.
So bottom line for advertisers, they're not just asking you to trust them, they're bringing in independent auditors to verify safety, and they're even giving you tools to track broader impacts like carbon emissions. That's quite a statement.
It's a comprehensive view of trust and responsibility, absolutely.
Okay, so we have all these powerful tools, these philosophies, but how does an advertiser actually use them effectively? How do they make the right choices? That brings us to section 4, your path to suitability, focusing on practical decision making. And TikTok provides decision trees, like flowcharts.
Exactly. This is where the playbook gets super practical. It breaks down complex choices into logical steps, which is incredibly helpful.
Let's walk through 1. Choosing the right inventory tier. How does that decision tree work?
Okay, it starts simple. What level of control do you need? If you say maximum control, you go to the next question. If you say some control, but open to broad reach, it suggests considering expanded inventory right away.
Okay, makes sense. What if you need maximum control?
Then the next question is, are you looking to avoid most mature and sensitive content? If yes, it points you towards limited inventory, the strictest. If no, but you still want to avoid the riskiest stuff, so general mature themes okay, but not rule violations, it suggests standard inventory.
Logical. And the last step?
It asks if you need third-party pre-bid safety solutions. If yes, you need to check compatibility with your partners. If no, you just apply the filter in Ads Manager and monitor results. Very clear flow.
That really simplifies it. What about the profile feed exclusion list tree for blocking entire creator profiles?
Similar logic. Step 1. Do you want to prevent ads on specific creator profiles? Yes or no? If yes, move on. Step 2. Are these creators consistently posting content you want to avoid? If yes, it strongly suggests using the profile feed list. If no, maybe it's just specific videos, so it suggests monitoring or using the video exclusion list instead.
Distinguishing between consistent issues and isolated ones.
Right. And step 3, if you were using the list, apply across all campaigns. If yes, set it at the account level in the Brand Safety Hub. If no, maybe use the video list or apply the profile list more selectively per campaign.
Again, showing how the tools work together. How about the video exclusion list tree?
First question. Need to avoid specific videos rather than whole profiles? If yes, proceed. If no, consider the profile list. Second, how to generate the list. Choose between third-party partners or manual self-service in Ads Manager. Third, will you update the list regularly? If yes, establish a routine. If no, apply it once and monitor.
And finally, managing comments.
Super straightforward. 1. Enable comments. Yes or no. If no, turn them off. 2. If yes, how to manage negative comments. Manually, monitor and act. Or automatically, use a blocked word list. 3. Need to export data for analysis. Yes, use the export feature. Or no, manage directly.
These trees sound incredibly useful. They turn complex strategy into a clear process.
Exactly. They provide that blueprint, encouraging advertisers to think critically about their specific needs and tailor their approach. Rather than just guessing or using a default setting that might not be right for them, it's guided customization.
And all of this seems to funnel into one place, the Brand Safety Hub in TikTok Ads Manager. Is that like the central dashboard for all this?
It is, yeah. It's the command center. It streamlines setting up your default account level settings for the main first-party tools. Inventory filter, category exclusions, vertical sensitivity.
Which means efficiency and consistency, right?
Yeah.
Set it once at the account level and it applies to future campaigns automatically.
Exactly. Huge time saver, ensures a baseline standard.
But what if one campaign needs different settings? Is it flexible?
It is. The playbook makes it clear that ad group settings can override the account defaults. So you get that baseline efficiency, but also the granular flexibility for specific campaigns that need a different approach.
Right.
Maybe stricter, maybe looser, depending on the goal.
And setting up the exclusion lists, videos, or profiles is done in the hub too.
Yep, you can add IDs manually or upload an Excel file. And you can easily see and manage your active exclusions there too. Centralized control.
They really seem to have thought about the advertiser's workflow. Okay, theory and tools are great, but does it actually work? That brings us to section 5, real world wins. Proof in the pudding, right?
Absolutely. This section is crucial because it shows these tools delivering tangible results for big brands with diverse goals.
Let's talk specifics. First up, KFC. What was their goal and result?
KFC wanted massive awareness for a limited-time spicy product, but they needed strict suitability. They used reach and frequency buying in feed ads, and importantly, the TikTok inventory filter. The result, over 17.8 million impressions with a 99.5% verified safe delivery rate. Huge reach, nailed suitability.
Impressive for a fast food brand. What about Sony Pictures for the movie Uncharted?
Mass awareness for the film, again, needing a safe environment. They used in-feed ads, the inventory filter, and third-party verification. Outcome, 35 million impressions, 118K clicks, and a 99% plus verified safe delivery rate. Shows safety at scale, works for entertainment too.
Okay, Adidas. Big global brand focused on values.
They wanted to highlight a partnership with athlete Candace Parker, targeting millennials. Goal, suitability without sacrificing scale. Solution, brand auction, in-feed ads, inventory filter, and third-party measurement. Result, 57 million impressions and an amazing 99.9% brand safety and suitability rate. Shows alignment enhances impact.
99.9%, that's incredible. What about a brand targeting younger audiences like Mondelez for Sour Patch Kids? Suitability must be paramount there.
Absolutely. They were introducing new flavors, needed alignment with brand values for a young audience. They specifically used the inventory filters limited tier, the strictest one, plus double verify for post-bid measurement. The outcome, 39.5 million impressions with over 99% plus verified brand safe and suitable. Proves strict suitability is achievable at scale, even for youth-focused brands.
These aren't just small wins. These are major brands achieving huge reach while hitting incredibly high suitability and safety rates. It really counters the idea that you have to sacrifice safety for scale.
Totally. These examples strongly suggest that gaining control actually enhances effectiveness. Better alignment leads to better perception, higher recall, more favorability.
Yeah.
Suitability becomes a driver of performance, not just a shield.
So wrapping this all up, what's the big takeaway for you, the listener? We've journeyed through TikTok's playbook, from understanding safety versus suitability to exploring all these pre-campaign, in-flight, and post-campaign tools.
We've seen how the TikTok Safety Suite offers this path from basic protection to really sophisticated precision.
Yeah, it lets brands truly resonate, appearing not just on TikTok, but thriving there in a way that builds trust and drives results. It feels like the door is wide open now for really radical customization and strategic alignment.
Which leads to a really important question for every marketer listening. In this world of endless content and demands for authenticity, how will you use these tools? Not just to protect your brand, but to actively synchronize it with the right content for the audiences of today and tomorrow.
That idea from the playbook, from brand safety to suitability to synchronization, really captures that evolution, doesn't it? Moving towards radical customization, brands working in perfect concert with the content.
It's about being proactive, intentional, and recognizing that brand values are increasingly central to success. How will you synchronize your brand for the future?
If you want to dig deeper into the how-to, the playbook points towards the TikTok Brand Safety Center and their Business Help Center. Sounds like the place to go for step-by-step guides on actually implementing all these tools we've discussed. Well, that brings us to the end of this deep dive. Thank you so much for joining us as we unpack TikTok's Brand Safety and Suitability Playbook. We really hope you feel better equipped, more confident, and ready to synchronize your brand effectively on the platform. Until next time.